Hey there, Sagittarius. It's Jen here from tarotspirit.net. I am doing a 2019 overview reading. So thank you for joining me. I will touch upon love, career, and then just some overall messages, spiritual messages, whatever comes up. So it's going to be a quick reading, just a little quick peek. All right, so let's do love. Okay. Well, so there are a couple kings down here, which means that you may have options. Don't get too caught up on gender. There's a king of swords, and, oh, wow, and the emperor. So, interesting. Well, it first starts off with this Eight of Cups. And when the Eight of Cups shows up in a reading, this means you need to let go of something, to walk away from something. So if this isn't an actual relationship that it's time to leave, it could be that you're unknowingly still carrying issues and baggage from past relationships into your new relationships. And that could be causing unnecessary trouble because not that you can't take lessons and everything that you've learned from old relationships, but when you start adding a story from your past and filling in the blanks with old information that doesn't have anything to do with the new person, you know what I'm saying? That can be difficult. And we do that without even knowing it a lot of the times. But this is some place, some relationship where you gave and gave and gave and gave. And just when you were fed up and ready to leave, like they would tell you what you wanted to hear or seem to get it and then slip right back, like sort of like a circular pattern. Could be even abusive on some level. So it's like that needs to that needs to be in the past, so that something you need to walk away from, let go of, forgive yourself for. Sometimes we're like, what an idiot, why did I stay in that relationship? And we can beat ourselves up, or we can think that any new relationship is going to be like that. Like we can say, oh, here's this new person I like, and you're sort of daydreaming about them, and then you follow that path and it ends up, well, they're just going to be like the last person. So that's the kind of repetitive thought pattern that we don't want to bring into the new relationship. Again, don't ignore red flags and things like that, but it can also, for some of you, point to letting go, like, of some area. So if you're in a relationship, and it's a good relationship, but they, again, I'm not going to be able to think of a good example. They never put their dishes in the dishwasher. They never change the toilet paper roll. They never do something. They're dysfunctional with their mother. They're, I don't know. Pick something. It's probably something more significant than dishes in the sink. Although things like that, those little things can become big things, right? You never do that. You never. So in whatever you're saying, you're never, like, I almost feel like it's like you have to think, you have to, like, let something go. You have to give them a pass. And a good way to do it is to talk. I'm just going to throw that out there. Have a conversation with this person and say, look, this is driving me crazy. What do I do that drives you crazy? Okay, neither one of us are going to change these things that drive the other one crazy. Can we let it go? Can we give each other a pass? Can we say, okay, they're not fussing at me over this because I'm not fussing over them? Like, sort of like try to come to an understanding about certain things so that it's not a recurrent fight, so that you can let it go in order, because it can then spill over and poison into the rest. Like, you never do this and you never do this. Like, oh, so it's like the list making. So someone does a lot of list making and brings it out and fights. So like learning to fight fair comes up as well. And then you have just a crap load of people. I don't even know. You do have a pair. You have the king and queen of swords. So when I see the king and queen come out of the same suit, which is very not very sensitive in these times to people's sexuality, so I apologize. It's symbolic. So this could be two kings, two queens, whatever. But I see it means a couple, regardless of gender. So it does show. It does show you what I'm reading this as is that you will meet your match. So these two, even though I know we're fire signs, I'm a Sag. This is showing that you will meet your match. If you haven't already, if you have working on the letting go, if you're in an unhappy relationship, you'll be letting that go. And then you're going to have, again, don't get caught up on gender, these two people coming in. These are both, to me, even though the Emperor's like technically embodies all the qualities of all the kings, I feel like the Emperor, is associated with Aries. And this is a fire sign. So it may very well be a fire sign. But remember, everyone's birth chart is completely unique, and so just because someone's a sun Sag doesn't even mean their rising sign could be water. So this could be anyone with strong fire in their chart. This is someone, this new person is going to, and I also see in a current relationship, like you guys are going to have a new, like instead of, yes, some will have to walk away completely, just an unhappy, dysfunctional relationship. But those of you who can repair the relationship or have a new relationship coming in, it's like you guys are together going to become motivated. Like I see a lot of action, a lot of movement. Like either you're going to meet doing something active, or you're going to get active together. But I see you guys out doing things. This is a doer. This isn't, it doesn't mean you can't chill at home some nights, but this is like, great, it's the weekend. Let's go do something. So you're really going to feel like you're living life instead of just sort of, I don't know, if for those of you, Sagittarians are pretty active, but for those of you who have felt like your life is on hold somehow, even if you've, I'm not explaining this well. Like if you felt like you've just been going through the motions of life, maybe sort of waiting for something to happen, or hopefully you understand what I'm trying to get across very poorly. Like you're going to feel like you're living life. I guess that's just the best way that I can explain it with this new person. Like they're really going to light a fire under you and you them. Like together, it's just a really good combination. You're both going to be like your own people though. It's almost like definitely coming in as two mature people. Maybe you felt like other older relationships you've been in, you've almost been more like not really a grown up. So this is going to be in air quotes a grown up relationship, whatever that is, because I don't find a lot of people grown ups, including myself. But there's going to be communication. You're both going to be able to stand and have your own lives and have your own autonomy, and you're not going to try to change each other. Like there's going to be, again, that let go. Yeah, this letting go of what you want, and trying to find some sort of your own self-worth or happiness being tied to the other person. You're going to let go of things like that. You're going to let them be, and they're going to let you be. And so it's going to be like this beautiful combination of being able to be strong and stand in your own power, but also being a great team together. and you're going to push and inspire. There could be friendly competition, but it's going to be like motivating and fun. Like it's going to be something that really sparks passion between you. It isn't a negative in any way. Very, very like, yes, very passionate. Um, this relationship is going to sort of wake you up if you felt again like you've been just trudging through life, getting up, going to work, um, coming home, just sort of in the doldrums like that. No more. No more. This will be transformative year where relationships are concerned. And a few of you may have may meet several, if not a couple, really potentially great prospects. But you'll figure it out. For in some way, it's like one person will definitely stand above the others, as not that they're not good people, but as the best match for you. All right, let's take a look at career. See what's going on there. Which cards do I want to use for career? I had this owl outside flying around for like an hour or two. I kept seeing like out of the corner of my eye, and I was like, what is that? Like a big kind of a shadow. And finally he came and sat right on a branch right outside my window. So I just was sitting there watching him, and he would periodically look, or she, at me as well. So let's look up what owl, since that just came to mind. What kind of, I don't want to say omen because that sounds negative. What's up with the owl? Wisdom, that maturity I was just talking about. Owl, animal, totem, spirit animal. Let's see. Come on. This is by Elena Harris, spiritanimal.info. Come on. The owl spirit animal. Oh, now there's an ad popping up, so I can't read. The owl spirit animal is emblematic of a deep connection with wisdom and intuitive knowledge. If you have the owl as a totem or power animal, you're likely to have the ability to see what's usually hidden to most. When the spirit of this animal guides you, you can see the true reality beyond illusion and deceit. The owl offers, for those who have it as a personal totem, the inspiration and guidance necessary to deeply explore the unknown and the magic of life. So it's your intuition, ability to see what others do not see. It announces change, capability to see beyond deceit and masks, wisdom. The traditional meaning of the owl is the announcer of death. Oh, for goodness sakes. Most likely symbolic, like a life transition. Yeah, so so it's interesting. It's like the death card. Not real death, but it's time for change. Yeah. Yes, it's time to not do relationships the same way. Going back to the relationship I'm still drinking my coffee. The relationship spread of that Eight of Cups was letting go of some part, letting go of how you used, like letting that part die. Like I will no longer be jealous in a relationship. I will no longer try to control the other person or manipulate the other person to get my own way. Like we're going to use our words. We had those king and queen of swords who use their words, right? They're thoughtful and they're communicators. I'm going to communicate well. I'm going to express my needs. I'm not going to assume the other person can read my mind. Those types of things. Now, career, we have some interesting cards here. We have the devil. The devil's in the details. Capricorn. And let me look at, we have the Five of Cups. And we have the Knight of Pentacles. So for those of you who are not in, well, I feel like for some of you, you're just like you're you're not in the job you should be in, but you're somewhere where you're safe, you have a steady income, benefits, all that stuff. But it's it just doesn't feel like you go to work. Here's that getting up, going to work, coming home, that routine. And it's bad for Sagittarius, and I do it myself. So I'm talking to myself just as much as anyone else. So if you have your dream job, great, congratulations. But for those of you that you feel chained to your job, you feel chained to your desk, it's time to really start exploring. Very few of you may get laid off, and it's going to be the best thing that ever happened to you, because it will allow you to grow into something that where the cups are not spilled, and there's growth. There's growth potential. And overall for you guys, there's growth potential. So don't think that where you are in your career, whether you want to totally, whether you think this career is the only career you can have, or you've gone as far as you can in the career you're in, like that's absolutely not true. Keep striving. Don't get complacent, because there's something more fulfilling out there. And this guy just says, hey, if let's see, that you don't want to work at a bank anymore. You want to become an acupuncturist. Did I say that right? Start taking classes on the side. Start saving money. And I know it's hard because most of us live paycheck to paycheck, but just start putting $5 away. Skip the coffee. Make your own start making your own coffee at home. Learn how to make, you can get like mocha coffee if you like some fancy coffee, and put that, and like literally get cash and put that money away, or open a new savings account and transfer that money every week or even every day, I don't know, into that account, and just don't touch it. You know what I mean? Start applying for school. Start figuring out, okay, what do I want to do? And how do I start getting qualified for it? And it's very difficult. You can feel chained to that paycheck. And if you're like, okay, well, I just got this job at the bank because I got out of college and I had been working at a bank during the summers, and they just were like, hey, when you're done graduating, you can have a full-time job. We that'd be great. We'd love to have you. And so, yeah, your major was something totally different, but it just was easy, and then you didn't have to worry about it, and you became complacent because you had a job. So why stress about trying to find another job? Let's just chill and take the job you have. And then you got a promotion, and now you're like a branch manager, and like, what the hell? I didn't want to be a bank manager, but if I were to start the career I really wanted, I would have to take a pay cut. So so you feel chained. That's what I'm trying to say. The point of the devil is you feel chained to something. So this guy is like, start making, slowly but surely, start working towards making that change. It doesn't mean, up and quit your job, but he's successful. He's slow and steady wins the race. Just start looking for jobs actively. You know what I mean? Start talking to people. Look online, see if there's some sort of resources that you can use to start working towards that area of your life, that career that you really want. I have a friend that volunteers at a humane society often, like at least once a month. She helps with a spay and neutering clinic. And just in my head, I'm like, oh my God, she needs to somehow get a job at the Humane Society. And she's making contacts and things like that. So Who knows what will happen in her future, but I can totally see in some way this volunteering will help move her to a career that's more enjoyable for her. And for her, that would be helping animals. She's a huge animal lover. I definitely see you guys leaving, though, leaving a job. It could be some of you also, for a small number of you, you are in a job that you like, but you're in a environment that's toxic. So that's really difficult because if 70% of your job is what you really love, but 30 or 20 or whatever ratio it is a bad boss. I mean, let's see what the major reasons people leave a job is. A bad manager. There's so many bad managers out there. Why do people... It came up with snore. Leave me. That was something I offered. Leave jobs. That's funny. 10 critical reasons why people quit their jobs. I'm not saying quit your job, but come on. Are they going to actually tell me, or is this relationship with the boss? Number 1. Employees don't need to be friends with their bosses, but they need to have a relationship. The boss is too much of an integral part of their daily lives at work for an uncomfortable relationship. Yep, right. Maybe for some of you, you have a devil for a boss. And it's hard to walk away in a situation because it's like, man, I'm a good employee. I like my job. I like my coworkers, but there's just, so it doesn't have to be the boss, but there's someone in the environment that makes it toxic. I can just take one coworker that's just catty and nasty. It just stinks. I mean, but then you have to think, okay, wait a minute. Pretty much every job has someone that's just difficult or gossipy or undermining or, whatever. So it could be that for some of you, you need to just learn how to, how to tune them out and not let them get to you. The second reason is bored and unchallenged by the work itself. Relationships with coworkers. So look at its relationship. Opportunities to use their skills and abilities. Number 4. Contribution of their work to the organization's business goals. Just how relevant are you? Autonomy and independence on the job. Yeah, so you may have a micromanager. That's tough, especially if you're especially if you're an honest, good, hardworking, ethical employee, to have someone constantly like checking on you. It can feel like they're, like they're accusing you of being untrustworthy. So anyway, whatever combination of those things, you will be successful finding a new career this year, or a better fit as far as a different company. It's hard because where I live in a very rural area, and there's really only one employer around me that has the career that I'm in. So, but I did, after 17 years in oncology, move to orthopedics. So I'm in the same job in a different department. And it was a promotion. And so just being able to change, having the same job but change the environment, if not changing your entire career, is definitely a job shift for a lot of you this year, I guess. It's the bottom line. We have this King of Cups over here. Some of you, this goes back to that example of my friend with the Humane Society. Some of you may really want to work somewhere like a nonprofit, somewhere that you where you feel like you're helping people, helping animals. Something like that. It's like, I want my job to mean something. I see some of you also wanting a job that may afford you some travel, or that's not chained to this. I see a lot of you feeling chained to a desk. Like, I don't want to be chained to anything. I don't want to be chained to a micromanaging boss, to a desk. I don't want to be trapped. Like, you almost feel like you just have to stay where you are. So looking for opportunities, um, maybe where you travel from site to site, different sites. So it's different lots of weeks or days. You're not just feel like you're um, digging a trail, like you're wearing down a path because you just do the same thing. You walk into work the same way. You're just that same routine. Something needs to change and be different. Okay. So thought this was going to be doing it this way was going to make the reading nice and short, and it's making it longer. So, oh well. And then let's do like some just overall spiritual, because I tend to focus on my readings tend to be like personal growth, and I know people like more predictive readings. I do too. So I'm trying to do that, but I still let's see what some overall spiritual growth or lessons maybe to be learned this year. Let's grab this group. Yeah, ooh, some big cards. So 6 of Swords, yeah, moving away from something that doesn't serve you. So this is that letting go of areas of your life or behaviors that don't serve you, like we're talking about in relationships. Moving from choppy to smooth waters, making a change. But swords are, so most of us read this literally as travel, like I was just talking about, moving, being able to move. But swords are thoughts. So it can also be mentally moving away from a mindset where you do come into work and that one coworker, like it's all you can focus on, and learning to move away so that they are not your focus, so that you're able to manage your thoughts and not allow them to take up any space in your brain. You know what I mean? Like I had a coworker that right before he left, he became, I don't know, he had a hard time letting go, I guess. And he just became out of control. I just didn't need to go into it. But so I would come in and put my headphones in and just work and just not, I mean, I was pleasant, but I just wouldn't allow whatever was going on with him that he was like pretty much disrupting the whole office about. Like I wasn't going to allow that to be my reality for him to disrupt me. It was a choice of mine whether I was going to let this person interrupt me or not. Look at that. I just looked at the bottom. Here's that devil again, not allowing someone to suck you in. Here's this passion card. This is change. This is inspired. Finding things that inspire you. Finding things that light your fire. This can be that new relationship we're talking about, this new career. Finally, you're like, this career fires me up. This is what I want to do. And if I leave that career, my old career, and have to do this new career, I may take a pay cut, but I may want to work more hours because it doesn't even feel like work to me. And so that will make it up in the long run anyway, because it won't even feel like I'm working. Maybe you're like, you want to do tarot cards and you're like, I want to read cards all day long. It wouldn't even feel like a job to me. Being inspired by someone, by something, finding your inner passion. And enlightenment, this card's enlightenment. So for those of you who have felt like you were going through the motions, in that stillness, or in that you're going to realize that you had to go through those years of circular routines that were kind of slowly killing you inside on some level, not literally. And it took that time and those experiences to really realize what you truly want. So you realize the value in that negative relationship, in that terrible boss, in the way you allowed your life to get off of your goals, of like where your career was concerned or where you wanted to live, whatever it is, we end up and we're like, how do we even get here? I wanted to live in California. That was my plan. Why am I here? You realize the wisdom you've gained and that you wouldn't be able to get where you are having not had those experiences. So you learn to value the experiences from the wisdom and not hold on to the resentment. And then you have this gorgeous Ten of Shields, which is, it's the richness in life. So yes, it literally is wealth, uh, inheritance, things you can inherit and money and things like that. But it's the richness of life. The richness of life is having beautiful relationships. It's enjoying your life. It's living your life instead of feeling chained to a routine. And so that's going to be your biggest spiritual growth this year. And this is legacy. This is like, when I'm gone, people are going to say I lived life, that I did things. I made myself vulnerable and I went for things that had meaning and that inspired me. So that's a good way to look at this card. Like, what do you want your legacy to be? And are you living your life in such a way that that would be what people remember you for? Not to be morbid, but you know what I'm saying. All right, Sag, so that is your 2019 overview reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Looks that with Jupiter in our sign, this is our year to seize, to really grow and go for things and make changes and set positive intentions. Be mindful of your negative thoughts and just, grow, expand, reach new heights. And this just really, there's the opportunities. If we can seize the opportunities, we can, the way we come out of 2019 versus the way we came in, not that things are bad. I'm not saying, we're all like miserable people, but at least in some area of your life, if not your